everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Today's topic is when he moves in with kids. When he moves in with kids. Before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, to get us started, I did pull a short video, and we have a letter. So let's look at this video and dig into this topic. When he moves in with kids. Okay, here we go.
Before you move in with your girlfriend or boyfriend who have kids from a previous marriage, you better think twice, because if you move in and if you start acting in the place of a parent, if the relationship stops and you leave, you could be very much on the hook for child support.
That is not fair. They are not their children. And can't they sign something that says, I will not be held in locus parentis?
Absolutely no. X, you cannot sign something to contract your rights out of child support. It ain't happening. It won't work.
That's ridiculous. What if you keep your homes separate, but you still do things like a parent would do?
I mean, it's safer, but it's still not a guarantee.
I don't get it why men, right, single men, move in with women. I do not get it. Listen, I'm not a fan of that at all, right? I get it. Some of y'all spend the night. Then you get to the place where your lease is up. And like, you know what? The relationship is going good. And, I don't agree with moving in, period. Because for the simple fact, you move in with a woman, she can, and vice versa too. She can get to the place where she gets sick and tired of you because of something, because you guys haven't put enough time in the relationship. She get tired of you, like, yo, get your stuff and get out. Get your stuff and get out, because you moved in with her. Your name ain't on the lease. Your name not on the deed. Nothing. And you stuck like Chuck. When you get home, better yet, let's look at it like this. You cheat or you do something that you're not supposed to, and she finds out. And all of your stuff is at the door.
Okay, now you see what they said in the video. I showed you two. The first one was a lawyer that you really need to listen to, because I wasn't even aware that if you allow a man to move in and he has kids and you take the kids on and take care of them as a parent, if your relationship breaks up, he can sue you for child support. I didn't know that. And that's something that I wanted you to know. And then there was a man, the second video was a young man who definitely against men moving in with women. This is a weak move, and it's usually weak men who want to move in with you. And then they want to drag their kids along with them. It's no good. Ladies, it's no good. Now, let's dive into this letter and see what she says. This young lady says that she and her fiance have been engaged for a year. We set a date for this year, but after him moving in with me, I've learned we have a lot of growing to do, individually and as a couple. He is 8 years older than me and has 3 kids. I have 1. Boy, that's a big responsibility. We both are divorced, but I'm constantly feeling like he can't lead and direct his own life. He has permanent custody of 2 of his kids, and we are experiencing the ins and out of a blended family. I've learned we parent differently. That can be a problem, parenting differently, okay? He can be a pushover and does not have strong boundaries, especially with his ex-wife. Okay, you jump to the wife. All right, is the wife the problem, or is his parenting the issue? All right, his wife doesn't provide anything for the kids, but wants to insert herself to make sure that I'm not trying to replace her. Well, she is still their biological mother, and as long as she's in the picture, she's going to have something to say about it. Whether she's contributing or not. I know I went against my first mind in agreeing to have him move in. You're absolutely right. You asked him to move in because you were planning to be married anyway. Well, all right, so since you did that, now you can see how he really is. Okay, I don't know how long that you knew him before you even got engaged or any of that, because if you had taken your time longer with him, you could have seen all of these things before you actually allowed him to move in. Now I feel there hasn't been any growth for us to buy and establish a home. I feel sometimes he's being manipulative toward me, saying the kids need stability when I ask him to leave. Okay, I guess he's talking about his kids needing stability. Well, then he should have been able to provide stability for his own kids. Okay, but no, he'll move into your home with 2 kids? That was not a good idea. Even if you were engaged, I don't think it was a good idea. Where was his home? Are you saying that you didn't tell me if you were in a home or an apartment or where he moved in with you or whatever? Let's see what else you say. I feel a man needs to provide stability outside of me. Yeah, he's the man. He should have been able to provide stability for his own kids and not move in with you. He's on your stability. He's not providing anything. This has been a lot for me to take each day, especially being blended. I have asked him to leave, and we can continue the relationship, but in the meantime, we both work on each other. And if the goal is marriage, to work hard. Well, yeah, I think you're telling him right. I believe you are telling him right. He needs to leave your home. And if he wants a home with you, let him go find a home and move you into the home. Okay? But first, he needs to establish a solid foundation if he wants to marry you. I hate to ask him and the kids to move, but it's a lot, and he needs to work more on self. Which he then says everything is about him and what he's not doing before he can become married. I don't understand what he's saying that. He's telling you some things that he's not going to do until he's married. He needs to move out of your home, period. He's a great guy and father, and I love him, but improvements need to be made as far as being a soon-to-be husband. Am I thinking selfishly? No. You're thinking about your own well-being and the well-being of your child. Okay? From your letter, I don't see what is it that he offered you. If he moved in with you, what does he have? Okay, ladies, just because a man asks to marry you, you need to look at him long and hard before you go and sacrifice your life for him. And if you allow a man to move into your home, that's what you're doing. Sacrificing yourself to accommodate him. He's not losing anything by moving in with you. And then here this man is dragging 2 kids with him in tow into your home with you and your kid. That's no good. No. Ask him to leave and don't let up. Ask him to leave. If he wants you, then he needs to go out and find a home for you and your child to move in with him and his 2 kids. not vice versa. No, he doesn't need to move in with you. And then, now this is the thing, ladies. Remember, people do have different parenting styles. And when you blend families together, this can be a very sore spot right here. That can be a sore spot, because if he's coming in and handling the kids differently than what you are used to doing, then that could be some conflict. And those things should have been discussed before he moved into your home. Okay? And for you to say that he has some growing up to do, it makes me believe that you didn't spend enough time away from him. Now, you say you've been engaged for a whole year. What were you doing in that whole year? And when did he move in? Did he move in right after you got engaged? Or did he move in after you set the date? Listen, do not allow a man to rush you to marriage. Period. Period. And don't allow a man to rush to move in with you either. All right, there's a lot of men out here looking for shelter. They're looking for a place to stay. I don't know what your living situation is. You didn't tell me if you're in an apartment, if you own your own place, or what the situation is. But for you to say that you feel a man needs to provide stability outside, that's very true. And I assume that you two were planning to buy a home together. And you say he's 8 years older than you and has 3 kids, and you have 1, and he has custody of 2. It sounds like a very messy situation, number one, because you got a baby mama hanging around. His ex-wife. His ex-wife is going to be in the business. She's going to be in the mix. If you marry this man, she's probably in the mix already. You can already see it. And that's why you're telling him, maybe you should back up a little bit. Maybe you shouldn't rush to marriage. And really, if you've asked him to move out, he may not be the man for you. It sounds like you're having second thoughts to me. And you should go with that. Okay? You should go with your gut feeling. And if this man is not measuring up to what you expect, let him go. Let him go. And if you want to date him outside of your home, like you said, you can keep up the relationship to get to know him more, and he get to know you more, and maybe this is not the right time, but maybe, in a few years it may be the right time for you. Give him a chance to get himself together, and you get yourself together, and maybe you'll come together again at another point in your life. But take these things slow. Ladies, if he has 2 children and you have a child, it can be very tricky, especially if your parenting styles are different, and especially if his ex-wife is still involved in this situation. Okay? And she is involved if his kids are still small. And from your letter, I do get the sense that they may be small kids, since he has them, or teenagers or whatever. And that can add a whole lot more stress on you. Okay? You want him out. Then don't let up. Ask him to leave. Now, I don't know how long he's been in your house, but, sometimes it's not that easy to get people out. Sometimes it is not that easy to get people to leave. Now, you say you hate to ask him to leave because of the kids, but that's his responsibility. His kids are his responsibility, not yours. You're not their stepmom. You're not married. You're not responsible for his kids. Of course, now you allowed them to move into your home, and that was his whole agenda, to make you feel obligated to him and his kids. You got to realize how these things work. When a man wants to move in with you, there is a reason. And the reason isn't that he just wants to be with you. He just wants to be with you. Many times that's not the reason why he wants to move in. He wants to move in for shelter. He wants to move in for some kind of security. This man needed a place for him and his kids. And he was probably seeking a woman who had a place that would accept him, which happened to be you. Ladies, don't sacrifice yourself just to be with a man. If it doesn't work out, let him go. Let him go. And if he moves in and it's not working out, ask him to leave. And hopefully he will be respectful and leave. Now, the title of this video was When He Moves In with Kids. Ladies, number one, don't allow him to move in, period. If he doesn't have his own place, it's too bad. It's way too bad. But don't volunteer for a man to move in with you. And I realize, you get into a relationship and women, you feel like it would be wonderful for him to be with you all the time. That's what you're thinking when you invite a man to move in with you. But that's the worst decision you could ever make. Don't do it, ladies. It never turns out the way that you think it's going to turn out. Men who move in with women, many of them don't have what you have, or they wouldn't move in with you. They're moving in because living with you is better than what they are able to provide for themselves. So they want to move in with you. Ladies, guard yourself. Take care of yourself. And if you have children, you don't want these men to influence your children. And if they move in with you, they will be an influence on them. So you want to take your time to get to know any man before you want to even invite him to your home. Take your time. It's no rush. If a man is really interested in you, he will continue to pursue you until he has you. So you take your time. Men love to chase. Let them chase. Ladies, I hope you understand the message today. And I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for today's affirmation, the link is also in the description. I want to thank you so much for your comments and your letters, and a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best, and I really hope to see you next time.